Alright, so here's my weekly update. I think what I'm gonna do from now on, we'll see how this goes. I think I'm gonna start by just briefly going over like what my weight has done throughout the week and what my diet has been like. I'll go through my fitness pal and then I'll do my measurements real quick, and then I will just add the clips of all the videos that I've been taking throughout the week. This week it'll be pretty boring because, I mean, I guess if anything, what I've learned, I think my weight has been pretty stable all week around 140, 154, 155, and I've kept it below 2,000 calories. Like that was really the only thing I was doing this week that was different, was just actively watching, trying to keep my calories below 2,000 calories. And it really wasn't that hard without eating too much processed foods or fast food or eating out too much. So yeah, I feel like that, anywhere between 17 and 2,000 calories, or 1,700 and 2,000 calories is probably a good place to maintain a weight with my current level of activity. And so I'm not really going to do much for probably the next 2 weeks besides just track, because I am going to be going on vacation. But then I think after that, I'm really going to start playing around with like changing the calories a little bit and changing what I eat and just seeing what happens with my body. Just so I'll get a good feel for my body and how it reacts to different foods and different calorie levels and different amounts of activities. So when I do compete, I'll just have a pretty good grasp on that. So I will get into it and show you my weight and what I've been eating for this week. Okay, so here is my Fitbit app and looking at the weight. So like I said, I knew it was pretty consistent between like 154, 155. I guess I actually, let's see. So that would have been last Sunday, 7:31. It was 154.8. So I actually did gain a little bit of weight based on my weight today. So now I'm 155.4. So not a full pound, but I gained like half a pound. So I might do this a little bit longer and just see if that trend keeps going of like rising by half a pound a week. If that's the case, then I would want to reduce my calories a little bit to maintain or start losing. But I also ate quite a bit yesterday. So yesterday was definitely my highest calorie day that I had. So that could also be why. But I guess in general, I was gaining weight, except for Wednesday morning was my lowest weight. And yeah, there was a couple days that I weighed myself a second time later on in the day, and it was actually a lot lower. Like those where I have 153, those were when I weighed myself, like it looks like around 5 o'clock, 5:30. And I was 153. So I thought it was the opposite. I thought that like later on in the day, but also most days I don't eat until late. So that is probably when I'm like fasted and don't have a lot of food in me. So yeah, maybe I'll start weighing myself more times throughout the day. Maybe I'll weigh myself before bed and just see if, because some people say they wake up feeling lighter and skinnier. So we'll see what happens. With the weight, but overall, not a major change. So let me show you what I was eating to pretty much stay at roughly the same weight. I'll go into my Fitness Pal. And so, let's see, was it this week? Yeah, so the last 7 days, my daily average calories was 1641. There was a couple of days that I just didn't eat a whole lot. So like Tuesday, I think I was really busy with work, or Thursday. I don't remember why, but I ate less than 1,000 calories that day. I did go over the 2,000 calories slightly on Wednesday, 2016. But MyFitnessPal does this thing where it like nets out your exercise and activity, and this doesn't include that. But whenever it netted out my exercise, I still had some calories left, but I still marked it in my tracker as like I went over 2,000 calories that day. And then yeah, like I said, yesterday I went pretty crazy. I don't think my calories were actually quite that high, that 3207, but I was eating things that weren't like chain restaurants, and so whenever I entered them into the calculator, I was just guessing, and I tried to take like the biggest numbers just so I wasn't underestimating. But yeah, I definitely ate well over 2,000 calories yesterday for sure. I'm not super hungry today, so I don't know. But even with that, my average was 1641, which was a little bit higher than last week. Last week, my average was 1418. And then the week before was the one where I went crazy. Like these over my calories on most of the days, and well over 2,000 on pretty much every day. So daily average was close to 3,000. So what was my weight those weeks? Let me check that. So that would have been, so last week when it was around 1,400, my weight did go down from 156 to 154. Yeah, and that week that I ate all those calories, look at that. My weight went from 152 to 156. Yeah, so it's just crazy that within a week, like your weight can shift so much. Another thing I also want to note is I haven't been measuring like my body fat percent and BMI, because I've been wearing my socks in the morning whenever I weigh, but I've started like taking them off to weigh to measure that. So I'm sorry if you see my bare feet in the videos and you're grossed out by that. But I think I'm going to start weighing myself without my socks on, so we'll just have to deal with that. But anyway, that's just a recap of my food and my weight for the week, and let me go now to doing my measurements. I just did the same thing I did last week. I just like already showed and then I didn't push record, but here we go. So here is in my gym leggings and sports bra what I look like. I don't think there's much change. I don't know, but I've been feeling, again, I still feel like I'm getting more definition in my butt, but maybe it's not showing. I don't know. You'll be able to see a little bit better here in a second. But there's the front and side. I definitely feel like my arms are getting more, they're getting more solid for sure. Like I can feel it. I don't know if it's visual yet, but I can definitely feel like my arms, I actually think they look bigger today, but they feel like I can feel that there's muscle coming in there. Maybe it's not showing yet, but yeah, I definitely feel like I'm getting a little bit more of like a bicep and tricep there. So we'll see how that goes, but I will take off these leggings and so you can get a better look. Okay, so again, I ate a lot yesterday. And so I'm actually feeling like, I don't know, I feel like I'm holding on to a lot of weight today. I don't feel like this is the best, but here we go. It doesn't look that much different from any other day. So like I said at the beginning of like my first videos, I'm not planning on seeing any big substantial change until I really get ready to try to compete. This is just, I don't know. I guess this is just kind of my baseline body for now. Gonna look about the same until maybe in a couple of months, few months, whenever I really start training. But I'm just trying to get in the habit of taking my weight and measurements and all that. I got a binder together. I put together a little binder last week that's got, I can put my measuring tape in this little pocket, my pencil, and just keep all my measurements together. So that should be a little bit more easier to organize. So let's start with the chest. Last week I was 32 around the this. Where is it today? Bigger? Is that 32 and a half? It is. All right. It is so you know what? I'm using a different measuring tape too, though. Like, let me see. That could be like the difference in some of the variation from week to week. Let's see. Okay, I am gonna raise this up. Okay, with this. No, it's the same. 32 and a half. All right. I'll go with that. And then around the chest. This bra is also, I think, a little bit different than the one I had on last week, but 37 and a half. Last week I was 37. I'm telling you, my chest is the first thing to like grow and lose. So, all right, let's go with the waist. I feel like my waist is pretty big today. Not pretty big, but like compared to last week. I'm feeling, last week it was 35 and a quarter. Okay, it's actually showing smaller, 34 and a half. I'm gonna put, I think it may be actually a little smaller than that, but I'm just gonna put 34 and a half for my waist. My hips, 43. I don't expect. Get it at the widest part. That's about 43 and a half. So yeah, it looks like my hips typically stay between 43 and 44 is what it's been like this whole time. And honestly, I don't think it will get below like 40. And then my thigh, the thigh was weird last week because it had been like growing, and then last week it lost. So okay, so yeah, it looks like it's back up to 22. A little over 22, maybe 22 and a quarter. So yeah, last week it was 21 and 3/4. So I'll go 22 and a quarter. All right. Yeah, so at least doing this for like several weeks leading up to when I can compete, I'll see like what just my normal range is with this. I'll just call it my baseline activity of just getting in about 7,000 or 8,000 steps a day, and just kind of a 20-minute, 15, 20-minute basic workout. and then I can play around with like bumping up my workouts or changing my diet. So I think the rest of the year, I'm going to probably stick with this workout. I'm thinking about adding in deadlifts though, because I kind of like doing deadlifts. And I'm trying to think of what I can do now, things that I know have made me pretty sore in the past, and just start doing them consistently. So whenever I do start training, I won't get like super sore the first week or whatever. I want to do, or I don't want to, but I feel like I need to start doing, is it Bulgarian split squats? Is that what they're called? The ones that are just killer, like single leg squats, you know? I hate doing those, but I feel like I should probably start doing like a few of them a day at least. Maybe like 5 on each side. I may just start doing 5 on each side because they're terrible and I hate them, but they're so effective. So if I do throw in some more stuff, it might be some lower body, some deadlifts or split squats. But yeah, I think for the most part, I'm going to keep my training pretty simple for the rest of the year and just play around with my diet and see how that affects my body. But anyway, I will, honestly, I don't really have that much else to talk about this week because I wasn't really like trying anything crazy. So I will just go ahead and from here just clip together all the videos that I took throughout the week. So if you want to stay and watch that, feel free. If not, I will be back next week. I do plan to film a video next week, even though I'm going to be in LA. So, but I'm going to bring my measuring tape and my sheet and try to film one and get it uploaded next week as well. So that's that. So here's what happened throughout this week. Okay, so like I said in last week's video, I'm planning to start looking at like a way that I can just eat the same thing every day and have it be healthy and have it be all the nutrients and calories that I need just to simplify my life. and I want to try to do it vegan. And I had actually, like, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but back when I was training, I basically was doing that before, but she just had me on like such high calories. I wasn't losing weight. And I also wasn't working out as hard as I could because it was an online coach and like, I think she was fine, but it was kind of a mix of reasons why it didn't work. But like, she had me on a really high calorie, like basically all she gave me was macros. She didn't give me a meal plan. And trying to hit some of those macros and be vegan was kind of hard for me, and I wasn't really getting a lot of feedback from her. But what I ended up doing was I was hitting the macros exactly like every day, but I just felt like I was force feeding myself. So I'm not going to do that right now. Like basically, I want to try to stay under 2,000 calories, but I want to try to have just one thing that I eat. And I was looking up, I found a couple websites that were like, here's 5 things that vegans need to eat every day. And they actually have this list of the daily dozen that they put together to show kind of like how many servings of each of these things you should be getting every day to hit your nutrition. And I'm not going to be that specific. They have an app, and I went ahead and downloaded the app and just kind of looked around on it. But basically, I've got 2 more days. So I've got a purple carrot meal tonight, and then I will have a purple carrot meal tomorrow. And outside of that, I'm going to start trying to incorporate other things. One thing that popped up was oatmeal. And I don't know, on some of the websites, like, they don't mention oatmeal at all. I don't know why. Maybe oatmeal doesn't have a lot of like micronutrients in it that are lacking in a vegan diet. Like, one of the websites mentioned it, but the other ones I saw didn't. But once I saw oatmeal, I felt like oatmeal sounds good. So I think I'm gonna have oatmeal tonight with my purple carrot, and then I'm just looking like a lot of things. I remember this from back when I was trying to do this, like flax seeds and chia seeds and hemp seeds. And I just went and looked at my pantry, and I do still have some of that from back when I was cooking myself, and back when I had more time and I was cooking myself and I was trying to get all my macros and everything in line and try to do it in a healthy way. So I'm just gonna kind of dig through my pantry, see what I still have, and see what kinds of things I can start incorporating. And like I said in my video last week, because I think I've gotten off of the bad food, the hyper processed food and the fast food, I don't even crave it. Like, my roommate literally he went to Five Guys with his family, and he literally brought me back this cup with fries. And I love Five Guys fries, but I don't even think I'm gonna eat it because it just doesn't. I mean, I could eat it, but I'm not craving it to the point that I'm going to eat it. I don't know. I just don't feel like I want it. So I feel like right now I would rather have oatmeal, but I'm not even hungry right now. So I think I'm going to go through and put into MyFitnessPal like what I'm going to eat tonight. It's already 2 o'clock, so I'll probably just wait and eat for dinner. I haven't really eaten anything today, but I haven't been hungry today. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through and try to find, and you know, like I said in the last video, like whenever I'm bodybuilding, I think it's pretty good to have like a set thing that you eat and then you can change your things. So like I've got some vegan protein powder, and so I can, you know, if I need to up my protein, I can make adjustments with the vegan protein powder and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna start by adding oatmeal. And I think, you know, the easiest thing would probably be to either have a smoothie every day with like my greens and my berries. Or I saw this one website where this person said, you know, you can just make a big salad and have it have like, you know, a grain, and then the greens, and then some beans, and you know, some nuts and everything like that, and some fruit. You know, you could just throw everything together. And that's kind of how some of my purple carrot meals, whenever I would cook them, a lot of them would do that. You would have like some greens and you would have some like grain or beans, and it was all kind of like mixed together. And I always liked that pretty well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens this week and what I can come up with. So here's my pantry, and I've got some old oatmeal that is probably what I'm gonna have tonight. And apparently, if like all these websites say how healthy flaxseed is, it gives you omega-3s without eating fish. And so I don't know, I may throw it in my oatmeal tonight, and then I probably will throw my berries in there tonight. And everything says to eat nuts. I've got a bag of almonds too, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so to get prepared, I'm just kind of weighing out, because this is something I need to get in the habit of too if I'm going to compete and try to do it like right. So I've already weighed out my oats that I'm going to cook tonight. So I got a half cup. I've got 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. I went ahead and throw in a tablespoon of, I think I just had some like hemp seeds in there. And so I'm going to cook that. I'm going to add a cup of water and cook that later. And then now I'm about to measure out some almonds. And so I've already got the glass there, and then it's zeroed at that, and then I'm measuring in grams. And so if you look on the package here, it says the serving size. And so a lot of times the tablespoons, or if it says like cups, so for instance the half cup, if I did a full half cup of the oats, it was way over the 40 grams than it said it was. So I just measured out 40 grams. And so yeah, a lot of times like the tablespoons, it's not going to be exactly the grams, and all of this is based, I think, mostly on the grams. So I'm going to weigh out these nuts to get 28 grams for 1 serving of almonds. So that is not a lot of almonds. So that's how many is in 1 serving that has 170 calories in it and 14 grams of fat. So yeah, you could definitely get a lot of calories in if you're eating a lot of nuts. And I'm not gonna weigh like everything, because whenever I did that before, it was just like, it would take up so much of my time. But I just want to kind of do it just a little bit, just to get like, I think if I do it enough, it'll give me an idea. So now I can after I do this a little bit, I will be able to visually see like, okay, this many nuts is 28 grams. This how much is a serving. So yeah, I think for this next week, I'm going to try just for some things to start actually measuring out the servings. Okay, so it's Monday, August 1st, 2022, and it is about 5:10 in the morning. So I actually wanted to leave for the gym by 4, because I'm trying to start this new routine where I wake up at 3:45 and, you know, try to get started really, really early, but, you know, I did wake up at 3:45, but I just didn't get up and around, which is what I've been doing before though, whenever I was waking up at 4:30 and I wouldn't get to the gym till like 6, so I guess I'm just shifting it like an hour ahead. But no, I had a little bit of trouble sleeping last night. I woke up at like, I mean, it's common for me to wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, but normally I will just put on a YouTube video and fall asleep to it. But I was struggling to find like, I was just struggling to be able to fall asleep, which I don't normally do. Maybe, you know, occasionally, like once or twice a month, this will happen. And so on those nights, it's really hard for me to wake up the next morning because I feel like, oh, well, maybe I should sleep in because I didn't get as much sleep. But actually, I wasn't that sleepy this morning, so I just went ahead and got up at 3:45, and I did scroll a little bit. I had taken my eyelashes off last night, and I know this is bad, like I shouldn't care about my lashes, but I don't like how I look without my fake lashes, so I took a little bit of time to glue a new pair on this morning. And yeah, I don't know if you realized in my bodybuilding vlog video, I kept rubbing my eye because one of them was coming loose and it was like really irritating my eye, and so I'm like, dang it, I gotta take this off and then, you know, whatever, re-glue them. But anyway, I put together a pretty solid to-do list today. The eating last night went great. Like, I ate my purple carrot, I made the oatmeal, and even though it was like really bland oatmeal, because like when I used to eat oatmeal, it was normally the type that had like all the flavorings in it, and it had, you know, sugar, butter, stuff like that. But I was like, let me just try it plain with some fruit in it and see how it goes, and it actually was okay. And with the flaxseed in it, because I had put, you know, a serving of oatmeal and 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, and it made it actually the consistency better, because normally when I would cook oatmeal with just water and no butter or anything in it, the consistency gets like kind of spongy, but I feel like the flaxseed helped with the consistency a little bit actually. And then I just put a cup of fruit in there, and that was it, and it actually didn't taste that bad. And I don't know if it's because, you know, the fruit was enough to sweeten it, but I don't think, you know, I think I've tried that before and I didn't like eating it because it wasn't sweet enough for me, or if it's because I'm kind of cutting back on the amount of processed foods, which has a lot of sugar in it, so maybe my taste is becoming a little bit more sensitive to natural sugars again. So that's a good sign. But anyway, yeah, I ate my purple carrot, I ate my oatmeal with fruit, I had 2 apples, I had an orange. I didn't even want to finish off, like I had portioned out those almonds and I ate like 3/4 of what I had portioned out. I didn't even finish eating them. And I drank a lot of water and it was fine, and I was feeling really full when I went to bed. So, and I still feel really full right now. So, yeah. All in all, I'd say it's a success. There's a car here, so I'm gonna wait a second and hope that they walk in the gym. Or I guess I'll just go get my steps and get back on when I get done. Okay, so it's 6:35, workout's done. Well, the walking part. And so yeah, Mondays are weird because I don't have meetings on Mondays, but I do have a lot of work that I need to get done. So I've already got my to-do list. It's actually my roommate's birthday today. So I probably will end up like going out to lunch with him, or I don't know. I don't think he really wants to celebrate. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling awake, even though I missed out on a little bit of sleep. I'm not feeling tired or brain fog or anything at all. So I think today will be good. I'm not feeling hungry. So yeah, I think I'm not going to actively do like an intermittent fast or one meal a day, but I'm just going to stick to what I normally do and just probably not eat most of the day on most days. Like I said, today I may go grab lunch or something, but actually no, like the thought of bad food right now is not appealing to me whatsoever. I have no cravings for anything. I just like the thought in my mind flashed of like, you know, having some cake or something, like birthday cake, and it's just not even something that sounds appetizing to me. I have no cravings for anything, so maybe if he wants to go out, I'll go and not eat. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, it's still 6:30, so a lot can change in a few hours, but yeah. For now it's good. But we'll see what happens today. Okay, so it's Tuesday, August 2nd, and it's a little before 5:30 in the morning. I've been up since like 3:30, but I was just scrolling through TikTok, so I wish now that I would have just gotten up instead of done that, but it is what it is, and I feel myself coming down from like that kind of more motivated, productive feeling I've had the last week or so. And like, also it's like my class is over, so like I'm thinking about going to the gym, and I'm like, what am I gonna do for the hour? I still need to finish my study guide, but I don't really have anything specific to read. And I don't really feel like studying, but you know, it's on my habit tracker and I'm gonna be there at the gym, so I will study for at least 30 minutes. But I also gosh, I wasted like 45 minutes scrolling through TikTok. I could have been doing this at the gym. So that's what I need to do. Like when I feel tempted to just lay in bed and scroll through TikTok, I just need to tell myself, like, you can do that for 30 minutes at the gym. Like, get out of bed and just go and do that then. But oh well. It's too late now. So yeah, I mean, yesterday was fine. The diet was fine. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight though, because I have my last purple carrot meal. So what am I gonna eat for dinner? I don't know. I guess I'll have to think about it. I looked up some meals to eat the other day because, like I said, I want to get on like a whole foods plant-based diet again that's healthy. And I was looking up foods to eat, and I mean, I see some of these like people eating, and now I get like why they're eating these things. Like, it seems like a lot of the more popular plant-based influencers, you know, they're just always eating these bowls with like rice and beans and greens and nuts and, you know, things like that. And it just seems to be like that seems to be like a really easy thing, just to throw everything together that you need to eat to get your nutrition in a bowl. I don't know. I've got the sushi rice and everything. Maybe I'll look up a recipe for a sushi bowl and make that. I'll have to see what ingredients I have left. Or maybe I'll make my own sushi. We'll see. But yeah, I hate that I feel like I'm losing my motivation now. So I hope it doesn't. Like, I'm just gonna push through, make myself go to the gym, and get through it. I don't know if I'll film as many videos this week. We'll see, because I'm starting to have that feeling of like being uncomfortable being seen by other people. So like I noticed this when I was more active on Instagram. I would go through phases where I'd be posting like a ton of stuff, and I would feel really inspired, and I would want to, you know, make all this content. And then it seemed like almost right after that, I would want to withdraw completely and be like, I don't want anybody to see me. I don't want anybody to know anything about me. I'm going to delete my Instagram page. Like, I never deleted it, but I would just get that feeling of wanting to withdraw. And I'm starting to feel that a little bit right now, but I don't know. I'm not going to delete my YouTube channel. But maybe I'm not going to be recording as much. I don't know. Anyway, weight hasn't changed that much. I did notice I was peeing a lot yesterday. Like, this was a day that was like noticeably a lot, like way more than I was drinking. So just to note that, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna go get in there and get this over with. Okay, so I'm back from the gym, and I'm actually really glad I went today, even though I was kind of feeling like not doing it. I had brought just all of my notes from class, which I didn't think would be helpful to read because they were just so random and all over the place. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went through. I went back through all of my notes, just skimmed through everything, and I think it's going to be beneficial to help me finish the study guide. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think the exam is going to be that bad. So I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I brought my notes and forced myself to read. So it was a good time, and I'm already feeling like in a better mood than I was earlier. So I'm gonna go in, make my coffee, do my little workout, and get started. And it's not even 7 yet, so I should be able to get started by 8. So it should be a good day. Oh, I have to get started by 8. I have a call with my boss. Okay.
I swear there isn't a day that Monty doesn't have spit on him. I go to rub on him and he's like,
always damp.
moist.
Okay, so I'm getting 14 grams of this, which is supposed to be 2 tablespoons. So I can tare it again. And then add 14 grams to that. It's hard to do with one hand. But if you didn't catch what I did, I added 40 grams of the oats. And now I'm adding 14 grams of the flax. I got a little overestimated on the oats, but that's okay. And then, yeah, I'm gonna add some water and my fruit and have some more oatmeal for dinner. Okay, so it's Wednesday, August 3rd, and it's a little before 4:30, so I'm back closer to my time. My ultimate goal is going to be, and I don't know if this will be possible, like I will have to shoot up out of bed and just go step by step to be able to reach this goal, but I want to wake up at 3:45 and be out the door by 4:15, maybe a little more realistic. But yeah, I woke up at about 3:30 today and I had to go to the bathroom, and so I was like, well, I'm awake now. If I lay in bed until 3:45, I'm just going to not go back to sleep probably. And so I just went ahead and got up at 3:30. And but because I'd gotten up 15 minutes early, I felt like I didn't have to be in a rush, you know. So I just kind of took my time, scrolled through TikTok a little bit, just took my time. But I also did some other things, like I printed off an article to read while I'm at the gym. So yeah, but even though I got up at 3:30 and I had plenty of time to get ready and get out the door by 4, it's 4:30 right now, but I'm getting out the door. So so far the diet's doing great. I basically every day I've been having an onion soup for lunch and then waiting and eating dinner at about 7:30-ish. And I'm out of my purple carrot meals, but I had cooked one of those pot roasts that I talked about a while back. The roommate wanted me to cook it the other day, and so I did, but then he hasn't really been eating it, and so it's just been sitting in the fridge. And so last night I was like, look, we gotta eat this. And so we each had a bowl of that, and I think I've got 3 more bowls left. And so yeah, I'll probably eat that again tonight just to get it used up, and hopefully, like, I'm hoping that he'll get on a like consistent diet, but he switches so much. Like, there was one point of time for like 2 months that he was going and getting, like, this is probably when I gained the most weight, because he would swing by I think it was Longhorn Steakhouse after the gym to get like a dinner and bring it to go, and they would always put in a salad and a loaf of bread. I don't know if you've been to Longhorns, they serve you like a loaf of bread, and he didn't eat the bread. Like, he literally was just eating the steak and the side, and then he would give me the salad and the bread, and I was eating like a little loaf of bread every single night. And it was good, I'm not gonna lie, I loved it, but I feel like I also put on quite a bit of weight during those 2 months that we were doing that. And then I just hated, like, I was like, can you just tell them not to put the bread in there? And then they would always forget and put it in there. But then I liked it, and so then I was like, just bring me the bread then. If they're just gonna put it in there, just bring me the bread. But yeah, no, I don't have anything to eat, and I'm kind of busy this week, so I don't really want to put together like a meal plan or find something to cook at night, so eating the leftovers is fine for me right now, but definitely in the future I want to cook my own like plant-based meals. And so yeah, so this will at least get me through today. Probably have another one left over tomorrow since there's 3 bowls left, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna eat. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with the oatmeal as kind of being something else that's filling that I'm eating at night, the oatmeal and the fruit. And yeah, once I find like my main dish that I can stick to, I think I'll be good, because other than that, I've got apples and oatmeal and mixed berries. But also I think that this amount of calories is probably, it seems like it's the amount to maintain the current weight that I'm at right now. And so I'm gonna keep probably doing something similar to this, because I think all week, I think my average is about 1,700 calories a day, and my weight's been roughly the same, I think. So I don't know, I may keep doing this for like, I don't know, until I go to LA, I guess. So that'll be like another week. I just see how that goes, and then LA is gonna throw me off completely. But and then yeah, maybe I'll have time while I'm in LA to plan like my meals and plan everything out for when I get back, because I should have some free time. My sister is gonna be working some of the days that I'm there for a half day, so I should have some time to kind of plan and prepare and hopefully study for my upcoming class. So anyway, I'm gonna go to my steps in. There's nobody here, which is why I love to come to the gym early. But yeah, I'm gonna go get it done. Okay, so it's 5:43 and I'm done. Headed home. This is good. I read the paper that I'm working on, which we're, I think, getting close to finishing. We'll see. The ultimate goal, I want to have like the full draft of my part done by, I've got a meeting today at like 2 or 2:30, I think, and I want to have my part done by then. I think it's doable. While I was walking, I was reading, like kind of rereading the paper and making some notes for myself, so that's good. My brain is already on it today, so hopefully after I get home and do my little morning routine, I can just sit down and get to work and just, I'm hoping I can get into hyper focus mode and just work for most of the day. I know I'm gonna have to do something around 11 with my roommate, but hopefully I can get into it and get this finished today. I definitely want to get it like fully finished before Friday, and I don't think I have anything else going on at work right now. I mean, I have to do my exam, but my plan is to get like to get this paper done today, and then maybe work on some edits to it, like maybe some minor edits hopefully, and then but spend most of the day Thursday working on my study guide for my exam, and then taking my exam on Friday for my class, and then I'll be done with my class. But that's the goal. If I could do that and have that done by Friday, me and my co-author have the goal of getting the article submitted to our advisors by Friday, and then we're hoping next week there'll be some edits, and then we can hopefully get it published. I don't know. I did get another paper actually published, but I don't feel like my part wasn't as major on the other paper. But I don't know. It's still kind of nice to have papers. I don't really care about publishing, honestly. I know that that's bad, but I'm not for sure that I want to work in academia after I finish here. So to me, like, I know I need to publish. Like, basically the only reason I'm going for publications is just because I know that the people that I'm working with need publications. And I mean, I guess it is the way to get the research out there. But I don't know. I personally, it's not like my goal to rack up as many publications as possible. And if I publish, I want something to be really good. Like, I don't want to just try to crank out a bunch of publications just to get something to put on my CV. And even though this paper has taken a long time, like, compared to some of the other papers that I've read on similar topics, I feel like we're doing a really good job of, like, making sure we're covering all of our bases. Because yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good paper. So we'll see how it goes. It's definitely taken a while, but I'm pretty sure I can use this research that I've done for this paper in my dissertation if the girl that I'm working with, she's also a PhD student, if her advisor agrees to allow it for both of us to use this research in our dissertations. And she brought it up. She's the one that brought it up. So, like, I don't want, because she's definitely working on this for her dissertation. But so I wouldn't have asked. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to, like, step on anybody's toes. But she brought it up last week. So I don't know. Like, that would be so amazing if this could be, like, at least one part of my dissertation, one part out of 3 main parts. If this is already done before I even, like, really start on, like, my dissertation writing, like, that would be amazing. And if I stay on this topic, then I've already been looking at the literature. I already, like, would already have a good background set up for my lit review. Okay, so I know, like, it almost sounds like this is changing from, like, a diet, exercise, you know, kind of content to PhD. But I think that's what it's gonna be, because that's what I'm dealing with. Like, I want to get in shape, and kind of play around and figure out what's, like, the best, you know, for my body, but then I've also got to get through this PhD, so it's gonna be kind of a mix. And right now, the PhD is taken, and my work is taking a higher priority than the working out. But I think that if I can just really focus and get a lot of work put in this fall, then I can focus more on my health and fitness in the spring and summer. And that was what, like, I've been wanting to compete for well over a year, and I just, like I said, because of work and school, I just do not have the time to commit to it as much as I would like to. Because when I started kind of training last summer, I did enjoy, like, going to the gym and feeling the difference and starting to see differences, but it's just, you know, priorities, I guess. You know, it's nice to go to the gym and do that, but not if I'm gonna be stressed. Like, being stressed from being behind at work and school kind of offsets, you know, some of the gains and benefits from the gym. So I've got to get this in order first. And I think with building these habits and building the routines and, you know, trying to stay on track with all of my work and school, I'm setting myself up to be able to focus a little bit more on training in the spring, even if I'm not totally finished with my dissertation. I hope, we'll see. But anyway, and I go in, it's before 6, it's like 5:51, so go in, do my morning thing, and get started finishing this paper, hopefully. No, not hopefully. It's gonna get finished. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna send it off to my advisor today, this afternoon, and then be done with it for now. Shift over to my class stuff, my exam, and then if I need to shift back, you know, I will, but I'm gonna finish it today. Tomorrow morning, when I get in here and I'm off to the gym, I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, it's done. That's what's gonna happen. Okay. Okay, so it's the end of the day on Thursday. I was super busy with work stuff today, but I'm getting it done. I did get my paper done, at least well enough to pass along, you know, for the next step. I'm gonna have to do some more edits next week for sure, make some changes, but I feel pretty good about where it's at right now. It's about, it's 7:30 already. But yeah, my eating tonight is not gonna be good. Okay, so I've been eating pretty much the same thing for the last few nights, but I'm gonna change it up tonight because I've been working really hard today, and I don't know, I'm just feeling extra hungry tonight. And so my roommate actually went and got Mexican for lunch, and he brought home like one piece of a fajita quesadilla and some chips and some beans and rice. And so I wasn't like, he brought it to me for lunch, and I was like, no, I need my brain to work the rest of the day. I know if I eat this, I'm not gonna be able to focus. And so I didn't eat anything for lunch, but yeah, now I think I'm gonna have it for dinner. I went ahead and heated up the leftover roast that I was gonna eat. I didn't make the oatmeal, but I don't know, I may make it later. And I've got like, I don't know, this may sound weird, but like I ate half an apple last night and then left it out, so now I'm gonna eat the rest of it. Even though some of the edges are brown, I'm still gonna eat it because I've done it before and it's been fine. And then I also have some leftover popcorn from last night. I kind of like stale popcorn actually, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I think I've got a little bit of fruit, but probably gonna be the higher end of the calories that I've eaten this week, but I don't care. Okay, so it is Thursday, August 4th, and it's 8:30 right now, and I'm just now headed to the gym. So, I mean, it's not really a big deal. I did so much work yesterday, and I was just like brain dead by the end of the day. And yeah, like I shut it down at like, oh my god, that was a dead kitten. But anyway, I was like brain dead by the end of the night, and I just wanted to just eat and fall asleep, and that's what I did. And yeah, I was right, like last night I ate more than like I have at any time this week, because I had the leftover Mexican food, and I had the leftover roast, and it was like all leftovers pretty much. Yeah. And yeah, it was okay. So I'm not sure if this counts. I'm not sure if I want to count it as being under 2,000 calories, because technically I think I was like 15 calories over, but in MyFitnessPal it adjusts for exercise or activity, and so it subtracts off that. So because I was technically like still had more calories to go, like after the exercise and movement that I did yesterday that it tracked, I had like 500 calories left. I'll still count it. I think it's close enough, like 15 calories, net out my activity, and I'm still good. But yeah, I don't plan to do that. It was a lot of food, and it's crazy when you're not eating fast food, when you're not eating fried food, even though I did have some like chips and stuff like that, but like if you go and get like a fast food meal, those calories add up so fast. But I was putting in all of the stuff that I had planned to eat, like into MyFitnessPal, and I was actually surprised that I had like so many calories left, because I ate some cookies too. But I logged everything. So when I just had like the roast and the popcorn and the apple and whatever stuff I showed in my video from last night, I still had like 500 calories left, and I was like, wow, like, okay, this was way fewer calories than I thought. And even whenever I picked, because with stuff that I eat out, I don't try to get it perfect. I just choose something that looks close enough. And normally I try to be conservative, so I'll pick something with higher calories just to make sure I'm not like under counting, like what calories there are. Because if I looked up like fajitas, quesadillas, it's like all these different kinds, and some of them range from like 200 calories to like 500 or 600 based on the serving and type of quesadilla and all that. So I'll typically try to pick one on the higher end, just to make sure I'm getting all the calories logged. But yeah, so even with me doing that, but yeah, I ended up going over the calories, I think, because even when I ate all that food, I was like, I've still got some more calories. Let me eat some of these cookies. And I was still hungry, so I just, but see, okay, so here's where maybe counting calories could be bad, because if you have your calorie limit, and it might be like last night where you're like, I've still got some more calories left, I can eat more food today, then maybe you would just eat to meet your calories. But at the same time, I haven't been doing that every day. So even though I have the 2,000 calorie limit, like I've still only been eating about like, I don't remember, like 15 to 1,700. So, or closer to 1,700, I think is what I've been eating. But yeah, last night I was feeling like I want to get right up to that limit, and I did, and I was full, and it was fine. Oh, but okay, so last night, and why I'm so late this morning, it wasn't because of the food. Like, I ate the food, I passed out, was sleeping so good, and then about 1:15 in the morning, I wake up. I don't know what exactly like woke me up, but it may have been this noise. But at some point when I woke up, I heard this like banging noise, and I was like, what is that noise? And it just kept happening. And it wasn't like a consistent, like every few seconds. It was like random, but every like couple few minutes. Like, it was just randomly happening at different times, and I could not for the life of me figure out what it was. And I was like, there's something making this noise. I don't know what it is. It kind of sounds like the cat's door flap. That kind of sounds like where it's coming from, but there's no cats coming in or out. And I go to the side door and flip the light on because I'm like, what if something's out there messing around, making noise? And there was a possum like right in front of me when I flipped on the light. Like, I had the door closed and I have this bowl outside for the cat water. The possum just looks up at me and then just goes back to drinking the water. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe it was the possum. Try to go back to bed, still keep hearing the noise, and I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna know what this noise is. It's fine. I'm just gonna try to go to sleep and ignore it. And then the cats, so it's like locust season, and the cats have been catching locusts, and they bring them in the house, and they're just making that like that noise. And as the cats, and the thing I hate about cats is, okay, you're a cat, you hunt, you kill things. I don't like it, but you're a cat, whatever, like that's what you do. Cats don't just like kill things and eat them. I don't even think they eat any of the things that they kill. Like, for the last year, my cats have just been like killing all these animals, and then they bring them in the house and just leave them in the floor. So like, they're just in the living room torturing these animals. Like, I've saved a couple of chipmunks. They've killed a bunch of moles. They've earlier in the year, it was snakes. They would bring in all these little baby snakes, and now it's been, for the past week or two, locusts. And yeah, like, I would be like just about to fall asleep, and a cat would come through the door with this locust, and it would wake me up, startle me. And so basically, I'm just trying to say I had a lot of trouble sleeping after I woke up at 1 a.m. and yeah, but okay, so all this had happened. And also I forgot to set my alarm for 3:45, so my alarm didn't even start to go off until like 4:30, this other alarm that I have set. And by then I was just like, I'm tired, I'm gonna keep sleeping. So I slept until about 6:30, and then I figured out what the noise was. So there's been a big grasshopper that's like been in between my window panes where I have the cat door in there. It could totally get out, like, but I don't know if it felt like it was trapped. And I mean, it's been sitting in there a couple days alive, and I just thought, well, it's just hanging out in here. But I don't know if, like, at some point last night it decided it wanted to leave and couldn't figure out how to get out, and would just, so the noise was the grasshopper jumping and bumping into the outer pane of the window. I was like, oh my god, well, now we have the answer, but why can't this grasshopper get out of here? And so I had to like take the cat flap out, and I ended up getting it out. So the grasshopper is free. Mystery is solved. But that doesn't bring back the sleep that I lost last night. But it's fine. Like, today is a little bit of an easier day. Since I finished up work on my paper, I passed it off to my boss and to the girl I'm working on it with, and today and tomorrow, early tomorrow, the focus is going to be on my exam, and I think I have plenty of time to finish the exam. I think it's going to be fine. I've been reviewing my study guide in the mornings for like all week. I've got some more stuff to review today, so I think it should be okay. I've got a call with my boss at noon today, so yeah, things are chilling out a little bit. So doesn't matter as much that I'm running a little bit late right now. But yeah, I'm still full from all the food I ate yesterday. So we'll see what I decide to eat tonight. Like right now, I'm not feeling hungry whatsoever. But I'm gonna go get my steps in, get back home, do my morning routine that I'm super late doing. But then after that, I should still have plenty of time to spend a little bit of time reviewing my study guide and everything before I have my call with my boss. And then I can take my exam tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and take it today just to get it over with. And then I'll have tomorrow to keep working on the paper, like some of the stuff, you know, any comments that I need to address. And I still have one little section that I need to finish working on, like in the introduction, just getting literature cited and things like that. So, but that shouldn't be too hard, I hope. And yeah, and then I hope to have a good weekend. So I drove the long way. I am feeling like procrastinating today majorly, but at least I'm doing it. I've got my papers in, and I'm going to study, even though I don't really feel like it today. I'm gonna at least skim through the papers that I brought with me, and hopefully have a good day. Got it. Okay, so I wear a Fitbit and an Apple Watch. I think I got the Fitbit first, and I don't know, they just both do two different things. And some things are better with the Fitbit, some things are better than with the Apple Watch, so I wear them both. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a video about like talking about them and comparing like what I like about one versus the other, in case people are wondering like if they just wanted to get one, which one I would suggest. But it really just depends, honestly. But why am I going backwards? Okay, there we go. I'm driving the Santa Cruz. My roommate wants me to drive it. Like, I think it's so weird because the two cars that have, like, 2 times in my life when my cars were, like, totaled out and undrivable, it was when other people were driving them. And so I'm pretty hesitant to let other people drive my vehicles because of that. But he encourages me to drive his vehicles, and so I think it's kind of weird, but at the same time, I do really like this Santa Cruz. My car is a little bit smoother, but I don't know. This car's pretty nice. It's what I'm driving for now. But yeah, like last night, I felt like I ate so much food. I was so full by the time I fell asleep, but when I put it into MyFitnessPal, I didn't put it in last night, I did it this morning, it was less than 1,000 calories that I ate yesterday. So unless I'm like forgetting something, it really wasn't that many calories. So, but I felt full. I feel full. I did have a little bit of a craving last night to have a soda, but it wasn't a major craving. And the day before, when I was like really stressed and trying to get my paper done, there was one point where I almost cracked open a soda. But I know this is bad, but basically I think I've replaced the times that I would crack open a soda with nicotine gum. And I don't feel like I'm addicted to it. If I'm addicted to it, I'm just as addictive as I would have been to sodas. and I feel like nicotine gum is less harmful to me and my body than drinking a soda, so I feel like it's an improvement. And like, I don't even do it every day. Like, the cravings that I have are more like they're becoming habitual cravings. It's kind of like whenever I feel like I need to start focusing is when I feel like, okay, I need to have some gum. But it doesn't even happen every time. Like, sometimes I don't even think about it, and then it's like whenever I start to lose focus, then I'm like, oh, okay, let me try chewing some gum. So, but I have noticed that, like, I feel like I've replaced, so maybe gum can work not just for quitting cigarettes, maybe for quitting other things that you may use to help give you a little bit of energy and focus. So, I don't know. I know it's not good and I don't want to use it forever, but I mean, for the time being, while I'm trying to get through school and everything, it's been extremely beneficial to me. Like, I feel like I don't have as much worry coming into a day, because there were some days that in the past, that I would like need to have all this work done, and I would be really stressed and anxious about it because I wouldn't know, I'm like, okay, is my brain gonna work today? Am I gonna be able to focus? And some days, even though I would force myself to focus, like, I just couldn't think clearly enough, and I would push myself through to get stuff done, but the quality of the work wouldn't always be the best. But now I do kind of feel like I've got this little trick that if I do run into those major problems, I have something now that I can turn to get me through it, and it's helped me. Like, I don't know if it's a good thing, a healthy thing, but I mean, the way we live today, that's no less healthy than a lot of the other stuff people do. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as it keeps helping me. And I think it also, I mean, I probably an appetite suppressant too, so maybe that's why I don't get hungry that much during the day as much. But yeah, I will say, especially like the last week or so, no, but it hadn't even been every day. I mean, there was a couple, I was gonna say, like, my usage of it has increased, because I think I had like 3 or 4 pieces the other day when I was like really working to try to get writing done, but then other days I don't really have any. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep an eye on it and try to make sure I keep it under control, that I'm not just like popping nicotine gum all day every day. But yeah, so far it's been pretty beneficial. I will say there's been a few days that I've had like the urge to, when I come here to the gym in the morning, to chew a piece of gum to like kind of help me focus when I read. But I've resisted that urge because I'm like, I don't want to start that. I don't want to start like having nicotine from the time I wake up, even though I am having caffeine with the pre-workout. But yeah, gosh, like, this whole world is just stimulants and things to help you get by. I'm ready to get like past this like period of my life where I can just try to find like a more natural way to live, but at this point I need the help to get by, I think. So I'm gonna keep doing what's working for me, and so far this has been working. Like, really, the last few months have just been, I feel like I'm getting things more in line than they have been before. But anyway, yeah, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm about to head into the gym and get my steps, and I've got some studying to do. I worked on my study guide last night, and I need to take my exam sometime today. I'm hoping to take it before lunch. I don't want to like wait up until the last minute when the test closes. So I'd like to try to take it before noon. And the guy said that it's gonna be some short answer and like longer answer questions. And I really think, so I've been putting up some videos about journaling, and I'm hoping that the method that I'm using for journaling is going to help me with this, because my method with journaling has just been to not overthink things and to just start doing it. And so I feel like that's what I'm going to do for these. I don't want to overthink all these questions. It's been a while since I've had a test in a class, because for PhD classes they don't require tests. And I took a test a while back that had like some quizzes, and I would bomb the quizzes because I wasn't used to doing that kind of studying anymore. Like, I'd read everything, I knew the material, I'd been to the class, I'd been sitting in class, and I had a quiz in front of me where I had to like remember specific words and very specific definitions and things, and I just blanked. Like, that had never happened to me before in my life. And I just, because I'd been in a PhD program for a couple of years, and the PhD classes are so different, where you're actually like, you're not required to memorize. Like, you're supposed to like understand concepts and be able to do research and look things up. They don't expect you to just regurgitate, you know, word for word the definitions and things. And so I am a little bit nervous about this test, but I think I'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I could get open to the test and just like black out and not remember anything, but I'm gonna try to prevent that by studying with a study guide. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. The test is like closed notes, closed book. Even though it's virtual, we've got like a there's some sort of like program to install that I guess works through your webcam to watch and make sure you're not using your notes or browsing to websites. So I don't know, I've never taken a test like this, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna go get inside and get the day started so I can have more time to study. Okay, so it's Saturday, August 6th, 2022, and it's 7:20. Gosh, I don't know how I waste so much time doing nothing in the morning, because I've been up for over an hour. What have I been doing? I don't know. Scrolled through TikTok, fed the cats, mostly scrolling through TikTok, I guess. But anyway, you know, being out at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, I don't think that's too bad. I think I'm gonna take the long way to the gym just because I feel like doing a little drive, listening to a little music. But yeah, I need to get, well, this next week's gonna be weird. I was gonna say I need to get like a plan together of what I'm gonna eat, because week before last was super easy because I had the purple carrot meals every night. And the last 2 nights have been weird because I didn't have my purple carrot meals, but I did have, well, I guess I had the leftover like roast that my roommate had, but it just felt like I was just like throwing all this stuff together, and just like whenever I had my purple carrot meals and the oats, I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna eat the oats, and it's fine. But I feel like the last 2 days it's just been like throwing random stuff together, and I feel like I'm eating all this food kind of like uncontrollably. But what's weird is like, I thought for sure last night, I was like, man, I ate so much, I probably went way over, you know, my calories or whatever. But when I put it into MyFitnessPal, I'm pretty sure it was under 2,000 calories. Like, again, the way I'm putting it in, I'm trying not to like make it too difficult or too stressful, because when I was trying to do it like a couple years ago, and I was trying to like make sure I got every calorie tracked perfectly, you know, I didn't continue doing that. Like, it wasn't sustainable to do that, because it was just like taking a lot of time to try to get it right. And so I'm trying to like step back from being like a perfectionist about it, and just like getting close enough to give me an idea. So that's what I did with last night, and I'm pretty sure I got the right amount, or pretty close to the right amount, and it was still under 2,000 calories, even though I was just like snacking and just eating a lot of random things around the house and stuff that my roommate had. So yeah, but I just, whenever I went to bed last night, I was like, man, I overdid it again. But yeah, like, if you're not going out and getting fast food or like really sugary, unhealthy snacks, like, you can actually snack quite a bit. You can eat quite a volume of food if you're not having those foods. And another thing, and like, I don't know if this is bad, but like, I eat a lot of sodium. So like, I put salt on everything. And so like, even though it's not like the real sugary fried fast food, I put a ton of salt on stuff, so it still tastes good to me and satisfying to me because I put salt on it. And I mean, I've seen this guy, I can't remember what his name was, but I saw a YouTube video a long time ago of a guy talking about like how we all need to get healthy. We need to eat whole plant-based food. So, because I was on like the whole, why can I not think of how it goes? Whole food plant-based. Why does that not sound right? Whole food plant-based diet. Whatever, but yeah, where like, you're not just eating vegan, but you're not eating vegan processed foods. You're only eating whole foods, very little to no oil. You know, a lot of people go into no salt, oil, or sugar, you know, added sugar in anything. And every time I hear that, I'm like, I don't know if I can do no salt. But the guy's point was like, whenever you're putting a lot of salt on things, you're gonna eat more than what you normally would, because salt, you know, salt makes you crave more. And so he is saying, like, by not putting these things on, you're not, if you want to eat intuitively, you have to cut out all of these things that cause you to eat more than like your body's signals are telling you to, you know. And you know, all these artificial things that we add to food that makes us want to eat more. And like, at some point I would love to get on that kind of diet, but salt, I know, would be like the hard thing to cut out. And I think to do that, it's gonna be where I'm just gonna have to, it'll have to be a time where I have time to plan my meals and to cook food on my own, because I don't have anywhere to go and pick up food like that that's around here. Literally, like, even if I wanted to eat vegan food that's not like the whole food stuff, like, there's not at Burger King. It's really like Burger King and Taco Bell will be the two places that would be easy to just pick up something vegan. But like, most restaurants, no. And even if you go get like salads, you've got, I don't know, you know, what all comes on the salad. I definitely, you know, you'd have to take off the cheese, and you know, a lot of times they throw all this extra stuff on the salads. But anyway, yeah, at some point that's where I would like to be. I'd like to be whole food, plant-based. Not sure if I'll cut out the salt or oil, because I tried to do that, and like, me not being very good at cooking, trying to start your cooking like learning without oil is really difficult. So I had signed up for like a plant-based cooking course to try to teach people how to cook, but it was like the no salt, no sugar version. And I think I still have access to the course. If I remember right, it was kind of expensive, like several $100s. And like I do with a lot of things, I was super interested in it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it just got to be too much and I quit doing it. But I think, I mean, this was several years ago, but I think I still have access to the course materials. At the time it was called, I think it was through Forks Over Knives, because I'd watched that documentary, and then they had a cooking course you could take through Forks Over Knives, and it was hosted by this Ruby, Rouxbe, I think, cooking school. But then I think the name of that has changed, and I tried to I got back onto it like a year ago and was able to pull some recipes, but I don't know if it's set up the same way. But I might look into that again, and just like, so I can build more of my cooking skills, because they had some lessons like teaching like the basic cooking terms, you know, like, because I had tried to cook a while back and follow this one recipe book, and like I didn't know even the basic cooking terms, like if it would say like dice or chop or julienne or this or that. I'm like, I don't know what this means, and I was having to like look up all of these basic cooking terms that most people probably know, but I didn't know. I wasn't taught to cook. Like, my grandma cooked all the time, but she was one of those where like if you asked to help, she didn't know how to like delegate different jobs to do, and I don't think she trusted us to do it, and I don't think she wanted to take, you know, whenever you're doing something, like, it takes a lot more effort to try to teach someone else to do it. It's just easier to do it yourself. And so, you know, even though my sister and I wanted to learn to cook things from her, like, she just it was hard for her to teach, you know, what she was doing. And I even like, I started dating this guy one time, and I was like, okay, I want to impress him, and I wanted to get her chicken and dumplings recipe. This was before I was trying to be vegan or whatever, and because she made some really good chicken and dumplings, and I was like calling her, like trying to ask her, you know, and I was like, okay, well, how much milk do I put in? She's like, well, I don't know, you just know, like, once the dumplings start looking like this, you know. And I was just like, okay, like, she didn't have measurements because she would just eyeball things, and she just knew. And so I made the chicken and dumplings, and they turned out fine, but that's kind of like her style of cooking. She doesn't have actual recipes, it's just she knows. And my mom didn't cook. She was the type, like most moms in the 90s, you know, hamburger helper and maybe a pot of spaghetti. Mainly I remember hamburger helper as a kid, and things like that, kind of the boxed kits. So yeah, like, I'm trying to learn. I would like to learn, so maybe I'll get back into that. And I talked to my sister last night, and she said that she's had to throw out all of her food because she left for a few days on a trip and left her door open, and somehow got a lot of fruit flies in her house, and somehow they got in her fridge, and so she's throwing out all of her food. And so I said, well, she's like, I'll buy some food before you get here. And I was like, well, why don't we go shopping when I get there? So maybe I'll cook while I'm at her place. I did that last time I was there. So, and it was kind of nice because she's in LA, and so, like, here, if I want to find ingredients to make vegan things, I've got to order them for the most part, because there's nowhere around here that sells, you know, some of the, like, ingredients. And so if I'm there, we could go to like the last time I think we went to Trader Joe's and Sprouts. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll plan some things I want to cook while I'm there with her. But yeah, anyway, I feel like the calories, the 2,000 calories, or staying under 2,000 calories, is maybe my maintenance calories, because I've pretty much held steady at the same weight, I think. So tomorrow, we'll see what that looks like, and I'll see how many average calories I had this week, because yesterday I went way under, and again, it was because I didn't have my planned meal, and I was just eating random things, and I thought I was full. I thought I ate so much, and then I put it in, and it was like 900 something calories. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. But yeah, I guess we'll see tomorrow and see if there's been any impact. And I don't know what's gonna happen next week when I leave for my trip, so I guess we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, I'm gonna finish up my drive, get to the gym, get my steps in. I've got some reading. I'm gonna start reading for my next class. Actually, I'm gonna keep talking because I guess I'm in a talking mood today, but probably because I have this like weight lifted off of my chest. I finished my exam yesterday. I don't know if I aced it, because the last 2 questions, I know I didn't really put that much effort into it, because we were supposed to have like 8 short answer and then 2 longer answer questions. Like the whole test was only worth 24 points, and like the 8 short answer were worth 2 points, the 2 longer answer were worth 4 points. He's like, yeah, answer this in a couple paragraphs. I just answered all of them the same. Like I only put a few sentences, couple sentences on the last 2, and I was like, based on this question, I don't really know how to expand on this. Like I've answered the question in a couple of sentences. Like I don't know why I really need to expand. But I feel like maybe I didn't maybe I didn't get all the points, but I definitely didn't fail it. So, and I mean, what does the guy expect? He didn't grade, give us back any of our graded homeworks. So we don't know if like what we had answered on the homeworks were even right. So, I don't know. But I don't think he'll grade hard. I did learn some stuff in the class. Like that's one thing I'm finding with, so this is an example I put in one of my journal entries the other day, that sometimes if I'm around negative people who are like critical of other people, there's like this bandwagon effect. And in the past, I may, if I were talking to people in this class, I could see like some people like just destroying this professor for like how he's taught. Like it's kind of random and all over the place, and like he doesn't seem well prepared for class at all. But I get that, because that's the way I'm afraid to be a teacher, because I feel like I would be that way, because I feel like I would procrastinate and not get people's graded stuff back to them until like the last minute, and maybe not really be fully prepared for my lectures, and feeling like I didn't get it all together. But like, since I'm actually interested in the subjects, like my last class was the same way. Like if you were taking the class expecting the teacher to teach you everything, you may not have learned that much in the class, really. But if you actually went out on your own and did other research, and like based on the topics that are presented to you, if you go out and study up on those, like I've been doing in the mornings, I've been doing the extra readings. Because in other classes, if like I knew I could get away with not doing the readings, or just skimming the readings, I used to do that. But this time I'm actually doing the readings, and even finding other readings to help me better understand some of the stuff. And so I feel like I've learned a lot in these last 2 classes that I've took. But if I would have just taken the classes like I used to, it would have just been one of those things where I'm just going after the grade, not really learning anything. And so even though I'm not sure that the teacher was the greatest, I'm like, whatever, he's human, and he presented me with at least topics to focus on and learn about. And if I wouldn't have taken the class, there's a lot of these different things that I wouldn't have learned about and wouldn't have known. So I feel like there's a benefit to that anyway. But I will just say, like, after that exam, it was just kind of like a weight lifted off my chest. And sometimes whenever that happens, whenever I've been kind of stressed about something and then it's over and I'm just like, I can breathe, I just want to do nothing for like the rest of the day. But I was glad yesterday I pushed myself to get up and like stay busy until the end of the night. So one of my goals by the end of like this month really is to get the house ready, the living room of my house ready to start kind of, I don't know if the word's remodel or renovate. I think it's more renovate because I'm not like making major changes. I'm just slapping a coat of paint on and ripping up the carpet. And but yeah, I want to get like the room all cleaned out, and I want to go through some of my stuff and just kind of like get the place in order. And so I started doing that last night. I got the living room picked up, started going through some things. So may or may not like go on a trip this weekend because I told my roommate, like, he's been wanting to travel or go do something, and I've just been so busy with work, and his birthday was last week, and I've just been so busy. Like, I felt bad that I wasn't really able to spend that much time with him. And so I told him, I was like, and he's been in kind of like a mood lately, kind of a bad mood. And so I just told him yesterday, I'm like, you know, look, whatever you want to do this weekend, like, I'm open. I'm like, I'll work around the house, but, you know, like, if you don't want to do anything, like, I can just work around my house and stuff. But I'm like, if you want to go somewhere, if you want to go, you know, do something fun, we can do that. And so I'm just leaving it up to him. So this weekend is either going to be like getting the house in order and doing all that, or, you know, doing something else if my roommate wants to. It's nice to have some time where I feel like I can choose, have some more decisions to choose what I want to do, and not feel like I would be doing that at the expense of like times that I would need to be studying or working or whatever. So anyway, this was long. I'm gonna go get my steps in and do some reading for my class that I have coming up, because I've got like, his textbook is like 1,400 pages, so I'm gonna get a jump start on that. And yeah, hopefully have a good day. Okay, so I finished my workout, and I didn't want to do another video because my previous video was so long, but I don't know. I'm realizing something about myself, and I've been realizing this over the course of quite a while. So I know that a lot of people are talking about, like, people are diagnosing themselves off of TikTok, you know, with like different disorders or things like that, and like, well, everybody, you know, thinks they have ADHD and stuff now. Like, I'm becoming pretty convinced that I have ADHD. And I did talk to someone about it. Like, I may do a whole video on it, because the experience with like talking to a psychiatrist was not the best. But anyway, but I think the way mine works maybe is it seems to like, and I don't know, like, maybe I don't have it, maybe, I mean, this is just something I'm perceiving in myself. Like, today, for sure, my brain is moving so quickly, and I have so many thoughts and ideas in it. Like, I brought my stuff to read, and even though the stuff was pretty interesting, and I think getting on a daily routine where you're doing the same thing every day is really helpful in recognizing different mood cycles and what mood you're in. Because I definitely have some days where I'm there at the gym and I'm reading my stuff and I'm trying to read, and I just have to keep rereading because my brain keeps going off in left field, you know, just all of these thoughts keep coming in my head, and I'm just thinking about all of these things. And that was how it was today. But then there's other days where I'm in there and I'm able to hyper focus on the reading, and if I have thoughts, it's like thoughts related to the reading, and I'm able to still keep reading, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just able to focus on the reading and take everything in. And then there's other days where I'm like trying to read and I can't focus on the reading and I have to keep rereading, but it's not because I've got so many thoughts and I'm so interested in all these things that I can't focus. It's because I'm just really bored and I can't, and nothing, there's no like thoughts coming in my head, but I'm struggling to read and I just can't focus, and I'm just bored and I just don't want to be there, and I don't want to be doing it, and I don't want to be doing anything. So I've noticed these like specific kind of like trends in my daily reading, and I don't think it shifts I don't think it's based on what I'm reading necessarily. It just seems like certain days my brain just acts differently, and today is noticeably definitely one of those fast, and I've got all these thoughts and ideas and things that I want to do, and so I don't know, like, can ADHD be like a cyclical thing, like with women's hormones? If like, because I know like a lot of people say that like women typically aren't diagnosed with ADHD and they present it differently. I'm wondering if it has to do with hormones, and I don't know. And I know they say it's not as easy to recognize, because mine is mostly in my head, because I was always really shy and I didn't talk a lot to people, and so maybe I'm not like actively showing that I'm not focusing or paying attention, but like my brain is not focusing or paying attention because I'm thinking about like a million other things. So if that makes sense, but that's just how my mood is today. And actually I notice also, like, when I get in this mood, if I don't have like work or school or other things to focus on, it's like the best feeling in the world, because I've got all these thoughts and ideas and I want to do all these things and get all this stuff done, and I can do it because I don't have like the work or school like stressing me out or whatever. Like, I don't have to focus on that. I can like do whatever my brain wants me to do. And so if this happens on a day that I have a lot of school stuff to do, then it's kind of stressful, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do all this stuff. I want to like focus on these other things. But yeah, but if it happens on a day like today that is like the greatest, and that I don't have all this other stuff to do, like, it's just a really good feeling. So basically, I think I'm gonna have a pretty good day. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's Sunday, the 7th of August. Is it the 7th? Yeah. And it's about 8:40 in the morning, and I'm just now headed to the gym. Didn't get up at like before 5, but it's okay. I don't really have too much to talk about today, I guess. I got some stuff done around the house yesterday. I actually ate like a lot last night. We went to lunch at Red Lobster, and I actually didn't really eat that much. I had a salad and one cheddar biscuit, and I just really wasn't all that hungry. And so, that would be a time before where, because I was going out to eat, I would feel the need to order something, but I was like, you know what, I'm not hungry. Maybe I'll eat off of what, I was thinking I would eat off of what my roommate got, but I just never felt the need to, so we got his leftovers to go. And then I just spent the rest of the day kind of cleaning and organizing, and I'm really glad that I made a lot of progress on that. And then, you know, we decided to go get some food, and I got a burger and mashed potatoes, and like I felt like I needed to order it, but I really wish that I wouldn't have. Like I'm glad that I got it, because now I'm like, well, it wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was gonna be. And even when I ordered it, like, they asked if I wanted fries, and I said mashed potatoes, but like I really, like when I got the salad at lunch, like I really felt like I wanted some vegetables, and I wish that I would have like at least got vegetables to go along with it, because I was just feeling like that's what I wanted. I had a ton of pineapple. Gosh. And the roommate got these sugar cookies from Walmart, and I ate like so many of those cookies, and they're terrible. They don't even taste that good. I don't know why I was eating so many of them, but I had like 3 or 4 of them. And I haven't put it into my fitness pal yet. I'll put it in, like, I guess while I'm on the treadmill at the gym. That'll be one of the things that I do, and see how much it was. I don't know what the calories for the burger is gonna be, because it wasn't at like a chain restaurant, so I'll just have to kind of estimate how much it was. But yeah, we'll see. But I think it was gonna be a lot yesterday. But I did have the craving to get a Coke, and I didn't. So, but also we had dinner over at my roommate's place, and well, it's weird because he's my roommate, but then he also has like this other little house office place, and we ate over there and watched TV. That was the first time we'd done that. And I think if we would have been at my house, I probably would have at some point went and got a Coke, because I had Cokes at my house, but I didn't have anything else there. So honestly, I think last night could have been worse if more food would have been around and available to me. So yeah, but overall this whole week I've stayed around the same weight, so I think having my calories be at 2,000 seems like about the right calories to maintain my current weight. So I don't know, but I'm still gonna stick with my routine. I'm gonna go get my steps. I've got to do some reading for my upcoming class, and I guess get my stuff entered in my fitness pal. I've got a lot of plans of stuff to do today, like around the house mostly. And I've got a couple things to kind of get ready for work for the week, and yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. Wish I would have gotten a little bit more of an early start, but it's fine. It's Sunday, so I'm gonna get to it.